Good evening, a very warm welcome to round 4 of the Formula Racing League TV Masters of Le Mans Ultimate Season 2 at Portimao. We're in the Algarve in Portugal tonight for round 4, and it's one of my favourite tracks on the calendar. The elevation changes up and down, it's like a roller coaster for the drivers tonight. And yeah, we've got another hour and a half, 2 hours of live streaming for you tonight, with qualifying to come in around about 7 minutes time and the 1 hour 20-minute race. So welcome along, buckle in. Bonjour, Alan Brown. Hope you're well, mate. Hope the kebab was nice. And yeah, strap in for a couple of hours of racing. If you are watching live, please do drop a like on the video and follow Alan Brown's lead and drop a comment in the live chat. Let me know if you're watching, let me know who you're supporting, or feel free to tell me what you had for dinner, because I can tell you now, in the driver's room before the race tonight, the chat wasn't talking about the track or the cars, it was talking about what they had for dinner. So yeah, feel free to let me know what you had for dinner as well, why not? And I'd be pleased to know, or you'll be pleased to know, that my voice is feeling a lot better tonight, so hopefully you won't get such a Russell Crowe-esque commentary tonight. So, drivers are just on track at the moment doing free practice, final few minutes. So let's just take this time to look over the previous race results and just remind ourselves what happened at Sebring last time out. So, on your screens now, you should see the previous race results, and as you can see, Francesco Adamu took the race win in Sebring. Adam Sesplar finished P2 and Johannes Priest was third in the Peugeot. So that was your top 3 in hypercar category at Sebring last Friday. So those are your 3 drivers to keep your eyes on tonight. Rest of the top 10, Dominic Illinger, Adam Moden was 5th, Domikos Kiss was 6th, Brandon Geit 7th, Valerio Ascioni 8th, Timo Braun 9th, beg your pardon, and Chris Jones was P10. Well, I'll tell you now, Chris Jones will not be P10 on the grid tonight, because he's currently in Turkey, I believe, on holiday, living up on the beach on the Sun Lounger. So Chris, hope you're watching on holiday, dedication and all that. GT3 was a cracking race at Sebring. Kasperzik took the win with Joseph Chadha. It was an absolute almighty battle between those two, so hopefully we get a repeat of that tonight at Portimao. So Kasperzik and Chadha P1 and 2, Danilo Lisic was P3, Danny Gould, Timo Bigot rounded up 4th and 5th, Alex Nioto 6th, Tom Curtin 7th, Rudy Vermeulen 8th, Derek was 9th, and Nigel Longdon was 10th. So that's your top 10 in GT3 last time out. And in terms of the standings, I know you're dying to know who is leading the championship. Well, let's have a look, shall we? Standings in Hypercar. Now, this is the all-important standings, because the winner of Hypercar receives the top prize that our series sponsor Cube Controls is providing the winners for this season. So a huge thank you to our sponsor Cube Controls, and Francesco Adamu is currently leading the charge for that winning prize. He's currently leading the championship with 68 points. Adam Sesplar is second with 55, and third is Domikos Kiss, joint fourth actually, or joint third with Dominic Illinger. So Brandon Geit is 5th as well. So that's your top 5 in Hypercar in terms of the championship points. Over in GT3, with no surprise, but Kasperzik and Chadha and Lisic is the podium positions there as well. William Giovanni has got a DSQ next to his name. He has unfortunately withdrew from the championship. So those are your standings in Hypercar and GT3. And just a reminder, we are May the 9th, which is today, right now, this very moment in time. We're at Portimao. And next week we head to Monza, but we'll take a look at the schedule later on tonight. So, who is out on track? Let's have a look. Leonardo Vera in GT3 is. He's just gone quickest, actually, in GT3. Blimey, I've just had a quick look at the YouTube chat and it's all popping off. Who we got in here? Alan Brown, Junior Racing. Lots of comments. He blocked me for like 3 laps 5 years ago at Nürburgring. Well, 5 years ago is a long time. Plus he looks really odd in a kilt. Well, he is Scottish. They all look a little bit odd in a kilt, don't they? I didn't say that live on air, did I? I'm only joking for any Scottish fans watching. I can confirm no bribery has taken place for championship positions. So just over a minute to qualifying. I'm going to bring you an onboard lap as well when the qualifying gets underway. We're going to bring you an onboard lap of Portimao. It's a fantastic track. We'll try and get on board with one of the drivers for the flying lap and take you around. Just a reminder, this series since Sebring last week has been split into 2 splits. This is the Pro split we're watching tonight, and there is also an AM split taking place on Formula Racing League that isn't being streamed. So if just a quick shout out to Formula Racing League, if you are watching and you're not yet signed up to the Discord, or you're not yet participating in Le Mans Ultimate, but you're wanting to get involved, you think this looks pretty good, then yeah, feel free to check out Formula Racing League on Discord, join the group, say hello, and yeah, get yourself signed up. Season 3 will be coming up later this year, and there's plenty of other one-off races to get involved in as well if Le Mans Ultimate tickles your pickle. Or it might be ACC. There's also the ACC series underway as well on FRL, and there's also rFactor 2. So plenty of sims to get your teeth or get your rig stuck into. Alan Brown saying it's a brilliant league. Alan Brown's slightly biased considering he's already in the league, but yeah, Alan is right. It is a brilliant league to get involved in. Plenty of friendly faces, a real good community feel vibe, and lots going on as well on the Discord, so 100% recommended. As we just see Danilo just trying to avoid the hypercar there on the hairpin, and that is the checkered flag for free practice. Adam Mode in there in hypercar setting the pace, but extremely close to Kiss. So no signs of, just actually having a look to see where Adamu is third. So Adamu 4 attempts off in free practice. Benjamin Eck 4th. That's an impressive time from Benjamin Eck. Okay, so we're just going to try and spot the first set of cars out of the pit lane as qualifying. The green light will go shortly. The cars will make their way out the garages down towards the end of the pit lane and waiting for that green light, waiting to get their fast laps in qualifying underway. It's a split session, so hypercars will go out ahead of the GT3s. It's not a joint quali session. And we're back with you. Apologies for that slight technical issue there with the streaming. So hopefully you're back with us live. Apologies for that. But we're on board with Francesco Adamu, and it's his first flying lap. We're just watching the times starting to come in on Sector 1. So just bear with me while I get my bearings again. Quickest time in Sector 1 is this guy here, Adam Sesplar. We're on board with him now. 22 flat in the first sector, and he's 35.7 in that second sector. He's just gone around Portimao, turn 11, turn 12, keeping the car on the right hand side for turn 13, trying to get the apex, let the car go a little bit wide, and then now turn 14, which is a tricky right-hander elevation change of the car, under braking a little bit downhill and trying to ease on the throttle. But as you can see, it is raining here in Portimao, and now it's all about turn 15, where it's just how much committed can you be on that throttle and all the way around to the start finish straight. And that's going to be, what is it, across the line. It's a 141.1. So Sesplar is the quickest driver so far, but all the drivers are yet to complete a lap. There, your left hand side of your screens now, you can see the qualifying time. So just 4 drivers with a time thus far. Francesco Adamu, where is he? Here he is. It's not a pretty quick first sector, to be honest. 22.1. He's on course for that target time of a 141.1 from Adam Sesplar, so he's going quicker at the moment. But sector 2's 2 tenths off, and might not be time, the sector time he needs in the car. It's just getting a little bit wild on the exit there on the throttle, back end stepping out, not liking the wet weather. Gilles Alleman goes on the second road, P4, with a 143.3, but Francesco Adamu coming around the final corner now, your championship leader. Where can he slot the Ferrari? It's P2, 41.9, so he's still 7 tenths off. So Adam Sesplar setting the pace at the moment. A cracking lap, that 41.1. There's only 2 drivers within a second of him, and that's Francesco Adamu and Adam Moden. Alex Alfonso is still in the pits. Cody Besselink is now out on track. He's coming around the final corner. What can Cody Besselink do? Currently slow, well, not the slowest, but currently bottom of the pack. He won't be for a moment. He won't be in a minute as he goes P11. So P12, 52.4. João Pedro Sodra occupies 11th place. Adam Sesplar still holding that provisional pole position. But how is Adamu doing? He's again almost matched the first sector. It's extremely close. In fact, he's actually gone quicker in sector 1 compared to Sesplar this lap, but it's this middle sector that's just letting him down. A 36.1 there. It's just not quick enough. It's not where it needs to be. Currently the top 2 rows occupied by the Ferraris, and row 3 is occupied by the Toyotas. And around the final corner for Adamu. Can he improve on the 41.9 he did previously? He can't. It's a 42.7, so a lot slower that lap. Adam Moden coming around the final corner. 42.1 was his lap. It's just probably just under a second off pole position. Can he improve? No. That was a slower lap. That could have been an out lap for him. Gilles Alleman, P5. This is a better result from Giles. Giles. Tomato, tomato. You see the elevation changes there, the middle sector at Portimao, but really tricky conditions here in the rain. I mean, with no, with the tyres, with the traction, and these corners where it's just up and down, it's really struggling in the wet conditions. Domikos Kiss currently showing us in the pits as well, so he might not get another chance to go back out. I don't think he will, so I think Domikos Kiss is done for qualifying. His 42.9 is going to be the best he can do this session. But here comes Gilles Aliman. What can he do? Can he get himself on to the second row or even the front row of the grid? Let's find out in a few moments' time as he's going to come across the start-finish line. What's it going to be? He doesn't improve. Doesn't improve. So Adam Cesplar, provisional pole sitter here at Portimao. Here comes Cesplar Adamu again. Doesn't improve. The times are just not getting quicker. It's getting wetter and wetter by the looks of it. I don't think the track is improving at all, so I think this means that Adam Cesplar could have pole position in the bag with only a minute remaining. He's about to come across the line again, but this won't be quicker. His previous time was a 1:41.1. This is going to be a lot slower. It is. It's going to be at least a 44, I think. It is. It's a 44.1. So yeah, the track is just not improving whatsoever in these conditions, and I'm going to go as confident in saying that Adam Cesplar has got pole position in the bag. So a fantastic early lap from him to get out there and to get the time on the board. Timo Braun, P7 at the moment for the BMW driver. Can he find a couple of attempts to get ahead of Valerio Ascioni, who occupies 6th position? No, he boxes. Gilles Aliman just starting another lap as well, but the GT3s are now heading out, so we're on board with the championship leader in GT3, and that is Kasprzyk. We're going to stay on board with him for first flying lap. So Adam Cesplar, as a reminder there, your top left, your left hand side of your screen, is the pole sitter in hypercar. Francesco Adamu, the championship leader, is second, and Adam Moden third. Domikos Kiss fourth. So it's a Ferrari lockout of the first couple of rows. But our attention now switches to GT3, and the drivers are now all out, apart from Stewart. Stewart is still showing as in the pits. In fact, is he sure? He's potentially showing as... No, Mark Stewart is still showing us in the pits, but every driver is out on an out lap. And you can just see how wet it is there, as Kasprzyk is getting mighty close to the other BMW in front of him. So just backing off ever so slightly to get some space. Comment coming in from Phil. Forza Danilo. Yeah, fantastic qualifying from him. P3 on the grid for Danilo Lasik. Be interesting to see what he can do at the start of the race. Can he... he's not P3, he's GT3, isn't he? Beg your pardon. I'm getting myself all confused. Yes, Danilo Lasik, GT3. We'll go on board with him in a moment. Here he is. He's actually just behind Kasprzyk on the grid, on the track. So, on board with Kasprzyk for this flying lap of Portimao in the Algarve, coming up to turn 1. Pick your braking point on the left hand side and ease the car in. So on the brakes now, flicks the apex of turn 1, keeping the car left, letting the car go out. Oh, a little bit of stepping out there of turn 2, and then pick your braking point for turn 3, the hairpin at Lagos, turn 3. So easy on the brakes, easy on the throttle, bring the car wide to the right hand side and opens up the left hander of turn 4. In the dry, that would be almost be flat out in a GT3 car with maybe a slight lift. So straight now, this is going to be one of your biggest overtaking opportunities in the race, all the way down to turn 5. Again, another tight 90-degree hairpin almost. Don't avoid the sausage curb on the left, straighten the car up on the loud pedal and up the hill to turns 6 and the right hander of turn 7, which is a tricky corner because you go too wide, you're going to compromise turn 8, which is known as Samsung. So here we are, turn 8 for Samsung. Up the hill, right hander, early on the throttle, over the crest of the hill, blind crest. There we see turns 12, the left hander, which is full throttle, and turn 9 of Craig Jones and turn 10 of Portimao, the trickiest corner on the circuit, I believe. So down the hill, back down to turn 12. This is where I thought I was. And up full throttle, turn 13, left-hander apex, kiss the apex, straighten the car up, and again, downhill braking now for turn 14 of Sagres. Downhill braking, car doesn't always like it, but again, it's all about now the throttle. You've got to get on the throttle because you've got a big run now all the way through turns 15 all the way to the start finish straight. So again, a little bit of a lift off there in these conditions, and another lift off as well, and across the line, that is a lap of Portimao, and across the line comes Kasperzik. What can he do? So 1:57.5. Lasik comes across the line with a 57.8, so it's not a bad lap from Danilo. He's 3 tenths off Kasperzik. Leonardo Vera, he's about to come across the line in the Ford Mustang, the mighty Ford Mustang, Ford power. What can he do? As Joseph Chada goes quicker with a 57.1. Leonardo Vera across the line, only good enough for P5. Alex Nieto. He's just starting a lap. Where's Mark Stewart? And the Aston Martin. But Joseph Chada, a 57.1. 4 tenths quicker than Kasperzik. Fantastic lap from the Porsche driver. He finished P2 at Sebring last round out, and he's going to be a hot on the tails of Kasperzik. I think the championship battle is shaping up to be between Chada and Kasperzik, but who knows, there's plenty of other rounds to come, so it's nowhere near decided. But Chada certainly leading the charge with 4 minutes to go in qualifying here at Portimao. Danny Gould with an impressive P4, second row on the grid as well in the Mustang. He's just starting sector 1, and we've got a car getting out of the way there. Look how tricky these conditions are though. Kasperzik, has he improved? No, not really. He's still a couple of attempts off that target time. Kasperzik across the line. 57.5 was the previous lap. Oh, he goes quicker. He goes quickest. Provisional pole for Kasperzik. That is a challenge laid out. Can Joseph Chada, the Porsche driver, can he respond? We're about to find out. 57.1 previous lap time. He's got to beat a 57 flat. He's got to find half a tenth. He does. So Chada improves as well. And what a lap. What a lap. 56.2 from the Porsche. Oh, it's Leonardo Vera. Leonardo Vera in the Mustang across the line. Goes up into first place with a 55.8. So it's the track just improving ever so slightly for these GT3 drivers. Where's Danilo? So we saw Kasperzik go quicker, then Chada got across the line, went quicker, and then Leonardo Vera out of nowhere in the Mustang. And Kasperzik had a slow sector 1 as well on the next lap. Chada has gone quicker though, I think. He has. Chada has gone quicker in sector 1, so this might not be over yet. We've still got 2.5 minutes here, and we've got a 3-way battle for pole position, potentially even a 4-way battle with Danilo in there as well, 1.2 off. So Chada improved in the first sector, 24.8 compared to the 24.9 of Leonardo Vera. Kasprzyk did a 25 flat. And again, Chada has done a 41 flat in the middle sector. That's 3 tenths quicker than Kasprzyk. So Chada is setting the pace. But I tell you what, Leonardo has gone even quicker in the middle sector. 40.7, 3 tenths quicker than Joseph Chada. Let's just go back on board though with Chada because he's going to be the first one across the line. Well, actually, Kasprzyk will be. Sorry, Kasprzyk. He improves, but they're not enough. But here comes Joseph Chada in the Porsche. He's got to find just under 4 tenths of a second. He was quickest in the first sector. Can he improve? He does. He does improve. But I think Leonardo Vera is going even quicker. I think he's about to take pole position. He does. He takes pole position. Provisional pole position for Leonardo Vera. But there's still time for one more lap for the Ford Mustang driver. And for all three of them. For all the drivers, really. Where's Danilo? He's got to find 2 seconds. He's now 2 seconds off the time he's in the first sector. 25 flat for him. Don't think that's going to be as quick. Rudy Vermeulen, P5. Alex Nieto, P6. But all my eyes are on the Sector 1 times of the top 3. So what have we got this time? Joseph Chada, 24.5. It is 4 tenths quicker than the target lap time of Leonardo Vera. So Joseph Chada yet again responding to the lap times of Leonardo Vera. We have got a 2-way battle, potentially a 3-way battle for pole position here at round 4 Portimao. What a fantastic action in GT3 here. Again, Kasprzyk not able to respond to the pace of the front two. The championship leader is just struggling here compared to the Mustang and the Porsche. So, Leonardo Vera though. So I just said Joseph Chada has gone 4 tenths quicker in the first sector, but Leonardo Vera has responded with a 40.8 in that middle sector. So he's pushing back. This is going to be ever so close. On board with Kasprzyk, he's going to be the one across the line. Can he improve? He's got to find 1.3. I don't think he's going to do it. His sector times are not enough. 56.3 was the last lap, and he doesn't improve. But Joseph Chada, here we go. Just under half a second. 4.83 is the gap. Oh, it's not enough. It's not enough. Just under 3 tenths, Leonardo Vera boxes, and that is your qualifying in GT3. Wow, Leonardo Vera takes pole position in GT3 category with Joseph Chada, who gave him one almighty battle for the top spot. That front row, well, if the qualifying is anything to go by, the race between these two is going to be epic, and I think we cannot write off Kasprzyk. But Kasprzyk, hang on, let's just hold our thoughts. I've just said Leonardo Vera has got pole position. Well, Kasprzyk has just gone quickest in the first sector. He must have got, I think he was the last car across the line. So Kasprzyk, I believe, is the only driver still running. He is. So he got across the line just before the checkered flag came out. So Kasprzyk has got an almighty opportunity here to spoil the party. But his middle sector's let him down. His middle sector's let him down really bad. 41.3 is 6 tenths slower than what he needs. Yeah, it's even slower than Chada as well. So I think this might not be enough unless he has an almighty final sector. We're about to find out, ladies and gentlemen. Over the hill, around the final corner, Kasprzyk, the last driver across the line. Can he improve? Can he get on the front row of the grid? No, it's not enough, but it was close. It was close. It was a mighty third sector. His first sector really put him in contention there, but it wasn't quite enough. And you can see half a second separating the top 3. So I was just talking about how the battle between Vera and Chada is going to be immense in the race, but I was about to say you can't write off Kasprzyk in the race, and then he pulled out that qualifying lap at the end there to get him even closer to the front two. So what a qualifying from the front three there. Lysick takes 4th and Danny Gould takes 5th. Let's just bring you a rundown of the overall order actually, so just bear with me while I bring that up on your screens. What a qualifying session. So your front row in hyper is Adam Sesblat P1, pole position, Francesco Adamo P2, row 2 is Adam Moden and Domikos Kiss in 4th position. Row 3 is Jules Alleman and Valerio Ascioni for the Toyotas. Row 4 is Timo Braun and Patrick Den. Row 5 is Benjamin Eck and Alex Alfonso. Row 6 is Jan Barth and João Pedro Sodra. And row 7 is Cody Besselink and Leonardo Vera. Joseph Chada and Kasprzyk is row 8. Row 9 is Danilo Lysick and Danny Gould. Row 10, Rudy Vermeulen and Alex Nieto. And row 11 is Mark Stewart and Derek Brah. Row 12, Stephen Martin, Carl Van Horn, the 777 Aston Martin. Craig Starkey and Tom Curtin round out row 13. And row 14 is Pavel Vetlugens, last but not least in the GT3 back of the pack. So drivers are just taking their positions on the grid. So just a reminder, please do pop a message in the chat if you are
Formation lap has started.
Who you're supporting, who you're watching. And the formation lap is now underway. So what can Adam Sesblat and Francesco Adamo, Adam Mode and Domikos Kiss all do? 1 hour and 20 minutes of racing here on Formula Racing League, sponsored and powered by Cube Controls. Round 4, Season 2, Algarve, Portimao. What have you got in store for us for the next 1 hour and 20 minutes? We're about to find out, as Adam Sesblat is leading the pack down the start-finish straight, and we're about to go racing.
Green flag, green flag.
We are green flag and we are racing at Portimao. Sesblat has got a good start, but Adamu is looking to the outside. He's got Adam Moden as well behind. There's a pretty stable start from everyone, but Sesblat is staying ahead again to the outside. Adamu is having a look. Sesblat is keeping that inside line nicely. Is Adamu going to have a look at the inside? He's going to have a sneaky look, and they almost make contact, but it's pretty fluid and pretty calm from everyone. But it's now a two-way battle. Adamu and Adam Moden is now side by side going in to the heavy braking zone. Is there going to be contact? Oh, there is. I think there is a little bit of contact. Adamu goes wide. He's going to rejoin. Is he going to rejoin ahead of Moden? I think Adam Moden might just give him the place back. He is. Domikos Kiss has had is in fourth as well, and he's kept ahead of Jules Alleman and Ascioni. But Adam Sesblat is leading the pack. But let's just quickly flick to the GT3, because Leonardo Vera, where is he? There he is. He is leading in GT3. Chada is second and Kasprzyk third. So no change in the top three for GT3. But Danilo is all over the back of Kasprzyk. This is on board with Danilo, and Kasprzyk looks to the inside, and Kasprzyk cannot defend it. The flashing headlights, but I don't think he's got too much to complain. It was a lap one move. he had to get the move done. He's got to be aggressive on lap 1. It's a fantastic overtake for Danilo Lysick. Up into 3rd place he goes. Just once this race settles down and we've got a few laps completed, we'll bring you the order from everyone and just see where everyone is and see where the gaps are, the positions and gains, the winners and losers from the opening lap. But just for the moment we're going to stick on board with this top 4. It's a Ferrari top 4 battle at the moment, as Valerio Ascioni as well is just challenging Timo Braun in the BMW. And Alex Alfonso's had a disastrous start in hypercar. He's all the way down and he's just losing even more places now as he goes wide at turn 1. So Patrick Den as well, he's had an incident. He's all the way back in the middle of the GT3 battle. On board with Kasprzyk though, he's trying to get back at Danilo. It's through his turn 5 they'd go. Is he going to make a move down the inside? Not on this lap. He's got Danny Gould just behind him now, who we're on board with. Adam Modin has got by Francesco Adamu. Up into P2 for Adam Modin. So what we're seeing so far is the winners from Sebring and the championship leaders in the respective categories not having it their own way at the moment. Francesco Adamu leading the championship but finds himself in 3rd position, and Kasprzyk finds himself in 4th. As he's getting very close now to Danilo in the other BMW round, coming up to the final few corners. While this is happening though, Leonardo Vera is just storming away. He's got a lead of now 2 seconds compared to Joseph Chadder, a little bit wide for Kasprzyk. This might be an opportunity though, going down into turn 1. It's always a risky overtake though into turn 1. So turn 3 might be a better opportunity if you can stay close. Great shot there. He's got a hypercar coming through the field as well. Danny Gould has got to watch out for that as it's on the braking. Oof, they were very close in the braking there into turn 1. Again, Danilo defending well, just putting that BMW in the middle of the track. And they've got to watch out for Patrick Den coming through the hypercar. He's now should slot to the left hand side of the track and get by these drivers in a straight line speed, which he does nicely. As Kasprzyk, is he having a look to the inside? He tries it. He has a little bit of a fake move. Just let Danilo know that he's in the mirrors, but Danilo's gone a little bit deep, and they're now side by side. So Lysick and Kasprzyk side by side. Who's going to come out on top of this one? The BMW battle at Portimao, as they're almost rubbing wheel arches. Danilo has a little bit of a moment, takes a defensive line to the inside. It's good driving from the pair of them. Oh, as Kasprzyk is spun! Kasprzyk is off. He's off the track. The championship leader, the winner from Sebring, is having an absolute disastrous opening 5 minutes here at Portimao, and he's now down all the way in 7th position, but it's not all lost. There is a long race to go, so he can come back. Where's Tom Curtin? Is he anywhere near him? He is. So Tom Curtin's just approaching Kasprzyk now. Curtin under pressure from Stephen Martin. On board with Tom Curtin now. You can just see that Mustang of Stephen Martin behind. And there's a bit of a Mustang party because Craig Starkey's also following Stephen Martin. So Kasprzyk, recovery drive from here, and I tell you which driver's had an almighty first few laps. It's Derek up into P5. A storming couple of laps for him. Let's just actually bring you the positions gains and lost over the field. Let's start with GT3 because we're on board with Derek. So just refreshing now, as you can see, Derek is up 4 positions from the start of the race, and Tom Curtin as well up 5 positions in P8. As you can see, Kasprzyk is down 4, but the biggest loser of the opening few laps is Alex Nieto, down 7 positions in the other Porsche. back of the pack as Alex Alfonso is now leaving the pits for Hypercar. So those are your winners and losers from GT3. Let's have a quick look to Hypercar, because Hypercar, the battle between Adam Modin and Francesco Adamu is shaping up very nicely. And you can now see the positions gained and lost for Hypercar. Adam Modin and Adamu swapping those positions, as you can see on track currently. But Pedro Sodra, the biggest gainer in Hypercar, up 4 places. And almost matching him is Cody Besserling, up 3. And no surprise, the biggest losers for Hypercar, Alex Alfonso, back of the pack, back of the whole pack, including GT3 at the moment, and Patrick Den. Just a reminder there on your left hand side of your screens, you can now see the top 5 in each category. So your top 5, Adam Sesplat is leading this race with a 2.3 second gap to Adam Modin, who is still under pressure from Francesco Adamu, the championship leader, under a lot of pressure now. 2 tenths, that gap is getting smaller and smaller by each corner, by each apex. So nice battle between these 2 Ferraris. Let's just stay on board actually with these 2 just before we continue going down the grid, because we could be seeing a move on Modin any moment. Chris Jones, Smiley's in the chat. Conditions look spicy. It is, mate. It is very spicy on track, and the action is also very spicy. We've seen some great battles in GT3 and Hypercar already. We're only 10 minutes into this race, 9 minutes into this race. So Modin getting a good exit down the straight, just pulling away ever so slightly to avoid a move on him by Adamu. We'll continue. 4th place is Jules Aleman, and 5th in Hypercar is Domikos Kiss. Over in GT3, Leonardo Vera has a 1.4 second lead over Joseph Chadha as his amazing qualifying performance. Joseph Chadha P2, Danilo Lisic P3, Danny Gould P4, and Derek, our good friend Derek, is P5, but not for any longer, as Kasprzyk is making the comeback. The comeback is on for Kasprzyk. He's now moved up into P5 and got past the Ford Mustang, the 88 Mustang. To Kasprzyk, who we saw spinning off a few moments ago, trying to recover, but he's got a gap of 16 seconds to the leader, 17 seconds to the leader to recover. Danny Gould is looking very close to Danilo Lisic now. The Mustang versus BMW into the heavy braking zone. So Lisic, who was under pressure from Kasprzyk, but is now facing pressure from Danny Gould. So Danilo potentially just struggling for race pace at this stage of the race. See, the last lap time, Danny Gould was just 18 thousandths of a second quicker than Danilo. And we can now see that live gap of just half a second between the 2 drivers. Rudy Vermeulen as well is now just closing in on Derek. The battle between 6th and 7th in class, 17th and 18th overall on your screens, but this is the battle for 6th and 7th in class. On board with Derek now, the rear wing of Derek. You can just see the BMW there coming over the crest, hunting him down. Fantastic performance so far though from Derek. Wonder if he's wearing his kilt while driving in this. Oh, almost contact between the two cars. The BMW, the closing speed under braking there. I think Derek was potentially struggling under braking, or Rudy maybe overcooked it, but he kept it under control, the BMW driver. Tom Curtin and Craig Starkey also having their own battle for P8 and 9. We've got a hypercar coming through as well, flashing the lights just to let us know they're coming through down the inside. The Mustang's a little bit compromised. The BMW just might just have a little look, but not going to make the move. It's Tom Curtin battling with Craig Starkey in the Mustang. Oh, again under braking, ever so close. Is he down? Look down the inside. He is. He has a look down the inside. The BMW driver, Tom Curtin, moves on up and takes a position off Craig Starkey, but it's not over yet. They've got a left-hander which is going to favour Craig, but now Craig's going to be on the outside. The BMW's going to have the inside line, and unless Craig Starkey in the Mustang can just get the switchback going here, but I think that's the position done. It is. It's a brilliant racing and a brilliant overtake there from Tom Curtin. And just in the background is Mark Stewart, who's just watching these two battle it out up ahead, and the Aston Martin driver will just be hoping they continue battling because he can close the gap even more. Alex Nieto is just starting to try his comeback, but as he almost loses the rear end of the Porsche, he's trying to hunt down Stephen Martin. Back on board with Danny Gould though, more GT3 action on your screens as the gap now between him and Danilo just 0.3 of a second. Danilo just almost driving in his mirrors. I feel he's just constantly having to look into his mirrors to see where Danny is. Danny's just keeping him honest, very honest at the moment. Timo Braun in hypercar, he's just closing that gap as well to Valerio Ascioni. He's on board now with Timo in the BMW. And that car up ahead is Valerio Ascioni in the Toyota, having to navigate these GT3 cars. Let's see how he does that. Oh, he backs off. He's going to lose time here. Playing it very sensible with the lapping of these GT3 cars. He's got to watch. Oh, a little bit of a kiss on the rear wing of the Mustang. The Mustang won't be appreciating any kisses like that. At least got to buy him dinner first before you get to that base. So around the outside of the BMW, he's going to switch it back to the inside, then get onto the throttle. Such a tricky track. It's an awesome track, but in these conditions, it's not easy to drive. But it's quite safe driving there, quite sensible lapping there from Timo Braun in the BMW, as he's just lost quite a bit of time. He's lost pretty much 2 seconds to Valerio Ascioni. Now, Adam Sesplat was building quite a healthy gap up ahead, but Francesco Adamu has got back by Adam Moden, and since he's got by Adam Moden, he's now on a full-on charge. The gap now is under a second, so the gap for the lead of this race is hotting up nicely as we approach 20 odd minutes into this race. We've also got to keep an eye on the weather. What's the weather going to do? Is it going to go dry and means these drivers box for dry tyres, or are they going to be back on to wet tyres at their stop? There's just another thing to keep an eye out for, and you can see on the tyre choice there, every driver is on wet tyres, which is not a surprise. gap just extended ever so slightly to back over a second between Cespolar and Adamu, but the lead for the race is hotting up nicely. Is that Alex and Nieto they're having to navigate? There it is, I believe. So Adamu, championship leader, race winner last week at Sebring, is trying, can he make it a back-to-back race win? Inside the Ferrari now, fantastic shot of the car, having to navigate the GT3. Gilles Aliman and Domikos Kiss. Now there's all this contact. Just trying to navigate the cars and the rear end. So the Toyota of Gilles Aliman is trying to take advantage. He's trying to hunt down Domikos Kiss. Domikos Kiss has actually gained time there, getting through those GT3 cars. But there was a little bit of contact into the final corner there between Domikos Kiss. Danny Gould and Lysick still battling away. On board with Danny Gould now. Oh, again, contact into the hairpin. Just a lot of drivers being caught out by each other's braking points in the wet conditions here at Portimao. Mark Stewart is just, again, trying to hunt down Craig Starkey, but this is a three-way battle. On your screens now is a three-way battle between Tom Curtin, Craig Starkey and Mark Stewart. The battle for 9th, 10th, and, sorry, 8th, 9th and 10th. As down the inside the BMW driver goes, there's contact, there's a bit of door rubbing, and the Aston Martin, is that Tom Curtin? It is. No, it's Mark Stewart. Mark Stewart is trying to get involved there. Again, side by side, Craig Starkey and Tom Curtin. So the Mustang has got out on top. But back comes the BMW again. He's going to have the left-hander, so he's going to have to run up the hill. He has. So the BMW back on through. Poor exit for the Mustang, but the Mustang's now got the inside line. Again, the side-by-side into the right-hander. There's more door rubbing going on. There's more wing mirrors flying off and bits of carbon fibre as the Aston Martin of Mark Stewart is still trying to linger in the background and just watch this with popcorn and you know, this is cinema for him. This is just these two battling it out. He's hoping they wipe each other off track and he can just go sailing on through for the easiest double overtake of his sim racing career. But he's just sitting nicely behind the BMW. But fantastic hard racing in GT3, and this is all the way down at 8th, 9th and 10th. Just quickly flicking back to the battle in front, the lead of this race. Adam Cespolar leading from Francesco Adamu. The gap back under a second. Adamu is really keeping him honest now, and they've got a bit of clean air in terms of no GT3 cars to work their way through. So it's just raw pace now between the two drivers. With Adam Moden 6.8 seconds off Adamu, so Adam Moden just struggling to keep up with the pace here of these front two, and they see the gap to P4 is 17 seconds back to Aliman, but Kiss battling away with Aliman there, and you can see let's actually quickly jump to Pedro Sodra. We've not been on board with Pedro Sodra yet because Pedro Sodra is closing very quickly to Benjamin Eck. That is Benjamin Eck in front. The gap 3 tenths and coming down in the slipstream. Is he going to make a move into turn one? He isn't. He's just going to have a bit bit of a look to try and put Benjamin Eck off. And that is actually Valerio Ascioni. This is another, we've been witnessing a three-way battle in GT3. Well, welcome along Hypercar. This is a three-way battle for P7, 8 and 9 in Hypercar. There's Benjamin Eck, João Pedro Sodra and Valerio Ascioni. 2 Toyotas and the BMW of Benjamin Eck. Sorry, the Porsche of Benjamin Eck, beg your pardon. Later on the brakes is Valerio Ascioni. Is he going to go for a bit of a cutback? He's now pulled to the right hand side. This will mean João Pedro Sodra will have the inside though. Which way is he going to go? Is he going to go defensive? He is. So João Pedro goes defensive on this right hander. Valerio tucks him behind, tries to do the cutback, but that's not going to work. So they just tuck him behind. Follows João Pedro Sodra down the straight. While these two are going on though, Benjamin Eck is just having a little bit of a breather. Benjamin Eck just managing just to squeeze a second now away from these two Toyotas. Let's just quickly switch our attentions to GT3 because Kasprzyk, who I said was on a comeback, as I have a coughing fit off microphone, I said he was on a comeback. Well, he certainly is. He's on a charge. He's hunting down P3 now. Danilo up ahead. So Kasprzyk doing all he can, but this is another three-way battle. It's the third three-way battle on our screen. So Danilo Lysick, Kasprzyk and Danny Gould. So Danilo going defensive, Kasprzyk on the right hand side in the white BMW, Danilo the red BMW. You then have Danny Gould in the black Mustang. So the three-way battle, and you've got a hypercar coming through as well. So what's he going to do? Is he just going to slot in behind it? Oh, he's had to get out. He's had to get out to avoid going into the back of the Mustang. This is the battle for the podium in GT3. This is 3rd, 4th and 5th on your screens. As the Hyper's now coming through on the straight and going to get the move done into the braking zone. So all three GT3s. As Kasprzyk looks to the inside, but it's not going to work this time. Wasn't quite close enough as both cars are struggling on traction out of the corner. Just see that dry line starting to appear on the track as well. Is it going to be time for slick tyres at the pit stop? Just see the energy remaining there on the left hand side of your screens. About 50%. The top three using a lot more though compared to everyone else, but they are a long way ahead of everyone else as well. So that's the indicator for how long's left on the pit stops. We're probably another 15-20 minutes away from the pit stops, I'd imagine. Just a reminder on our screens, the battle for P3 in GT3 category. Danilo Lysick, Kasprzyk, and behind Kasprzyk, Danny Gould in the Mustang. Kasprzyk very close now though. You can see him in through the rear mirror of the BMW. That's how close it is. As he's going defensive, Lysick, he's going to go to the inside for turn 1. So Kasprzyk going to have the better corner speed here, which might set him up nicely for turn 3. We're about to find out. So into turn 1, they flick the cars left. Kasprzyk just leaving enough space there. Got to watch out for Danny Gould though. He's ready to pounce at any moment in that Mustang. Again, defensive driving from the red BMW of Lysick as he goes a bit deep, and Kasprzyk, that's opened the door for Kasprzyk, but Danilo's got a good traction out of the corner. The cutback didn't quite work. Danny Gould is now sniffing around the rear end of that BMW. Can he make a move into the hairpin? No, he isn't. He's just going to sit in behind. So really good driving from all three drivers, but you can see Kasprzyk is just carrying a little bit more corner speed compared to Danilo in the red BMW. This is your closest battle on track at the moment. We're just witnessing these three drivers battle it out as Kaspersky again to the inside, trying to get round the corner up the inside of the other BMW, but just not quite working. But again, dry line starting to appear for these cars. More defensive line from Danilo. They're going to be side by side now across the line. This is very close into turn one. So again, Kaspersky around the outside. Can he get it done? Can he make it stick? He has for the moment, but Danilo's going to have the inside line to the hairpin. Oh, brilliant action here. Round 4 at Portimao, Formula Racing League TV. Kaspersky, Lysick stays ahead, and now Danny Gould is going to get the run on Kaspersky. Is he in the Ford Mustang? So all eyes on the Ford Mustang. Is he going to get the move done on Kaspersky? No, he doesn't go for it. It's very conservative driving from Danny Gould. To the top of the hill again. Danilo just taking that defensive line. He really does not want to lose third place in the race at this stage of it. There's still over 50 minutes to go, so he's going to have a long battle on his hands, as that's Alex Alfonso, the hypercar, just coming through, navigating that a little bit of a contact between the two BMW drivers. Let's just quickly jump on board actually with Francesco Adamu. That wasn't Alex Alfonso, that was the race leaders of Adam Sesplat and Adamu coming on through. So the gap now 1.7 between Sesplat and Adamu out in front. Let's go back on board with Kaspersky though, because this is the closest battle on screen. This time he's not as close to Danilo. This is the beauty of multi-class racing. You're battling away bumper to bumper with opposition in your category, and you just got hypercars coming on through, and if the hypercars are also battling, you're having to navigate the GT3s. It is the beauty of multi-class racing, and it's why it's so good at Portimao. As now side by side, a terrible exit from Lysick and a brilliant exit from Kaspersky just brings him alongside. But again, the car placement of Danilo is just fantastic. He's just defending every inside line brilliantly, but he's getting a good enough exit to defend from the cutback as well. So this really is fantastic driving. Kaspersky would be absolutely fuming because he's now 15.5 seconds off the lead. He's just losing more and more time to Leonardo. While this battle, where he's struggling to get by Danilo, is just losing time to the race leader and to Joseph Chada, his championship rival. Smiley in the live chat, hypercars ruining a great battle as Danilo's pitting. So the first boxer, oh, it was Adam Sesplat's in the pits as well. Adam Sesplat's come into the pits, so Francesco Adamu inherits the lead of the race. Now what is he going to respond? So they're the first two cars in, one each in GT3 and hypercar. So Adam Sesplat in the pits, as is Danilo Lysick. So was he just eating those wet tyres? We'll find out. So Francesco Adamu is now in front. Let's just see how he responds on the next lap. As Benjamin Eck has just gone. Sorry, I thought he was side by side with the car, but it wasn't. The telemetry was telling me he was side by side, but he was side by side with Adam Cesplar, who is now leaving. So Cesplar rejoins in 9th position. Bestlink not close enough to make a gain on that. So Leonardo Vera still leading the race in GT3. Joseph Chadha is P2 and Kasprzyk is now 3rd. And now he's got a bit of clean air. He's just starting to put some more clean air between him and Danny Gore. But is Kasprzyk, just keeping my eyes on the telemetry to see who responds. Let's go on board with Adamu. Adamu's in as well. Francesco Adamu is boxing. So the time is now for the hypercars. They're coming in. And they're getting rid of these tyres. And you can see on your left hand side of your screen the yellow dot next to Adam Cesplar's name means he is on a dry tyre. So Adam Moden now inherits the race for the lead, but where is Adam Cesplar compared to Francesco Adamu? So Adamu in the box. Let's go on board with Adam Cesplar, because the gap between these two drivers were very close. It's about half a second at the time of the pit stops. Jules Aleman is now also coming into the pits. You can see that by your left hand side of your screen, as is Timo Braun. So everyone is starting to dive in and get rid of those worn wet tyres and put on a clean set of slick racing tyres. So Adamu is on pit out. I think he's got this covered. I think he has. So Adamu is now leaving the pits. Adam Cesplar is coming down the main straight. I think Adam Cesplar is going to lose the lead of the race. He has. Adamu is now coming out. Where is Cesplar? He's here. So the overcut has worked for Francesco Adamu, but he's going to be on cold tyres, and Cesplar tyres are just going to be ever so slightly warmer. I think that's what we're now witnessing now on your live screens. Now the battle basically for net P1 as Adam Cesplar goes on by on the outside on warmer tyres, warmer slick tyres. So that extra lap, he might have lost it in terms of the stop time, but the warmer tyres in hypercar, no tyre warmers, remember. You just see the struggling Adamu under traction. You just couldn't get the traction down on those colder tyres, and it's worked for Adam Cesplar. So fantastic there. So that's a net P1 for Adam Cesplar. Adam Moden, there's a lot of Adams, isn't there? Adam Moden, we've got Adam Cesplar, Francesco Adamu, and Adam Moden. I'm saying Adamu a lot in this series. Adam Moden, not yet boxed. He's still running the wet tyre, as Domikos Kiss now coming in as well. So we're now in a situation where we've got cars on track on wet tyres and cars on track with dry tyres. So Joseph Chadha is now coming into the pits as well. Kasprzyk hasn't boxed. So Lysick was an early stopper in GT3. None of the top leaders have responded directly, unlike in Hypercar where we saw them pretty much respond straight away. So Leonardo Vera, lead of 25 seconds. He's still staying out. Kasprzyk, Chadha in the box. So while we just go through this change of tyres and pit stops, and the gaps are just re-stabilising following the stop, I'm just going to take this opportunity to refresh my drink. I'll be back with you in 2 minutes' time. What a moment to come back into the commentary box to witness Francesco Adamu have an almighty moment in the gravel into the barrier. So Francesco Adamu, the championship leader, is off at the last corner. Did he dip his dry tyres on the wet line of the track? He's going to be carrying some almighty damage now. So let's just keep an eye on his lap times. And let's just have a quick look at GT3, because Leonardo Vera has pitted. He's back out on track. Kasprzyk has not. So let's just bring you up the number of stops on the left hand side of your screen, so you can now see who stopped and who hasn't. So wow, what a moment to walk back into the commentary box to see Adamu, the championship leader, have an almighty moment. He's going to be carrying some damage from that. So Kasprzyk is your race leader in GT3 at the moment, but he hasn't yet stopped. Neither has Gould, Vermeulen or Derek. Alex Alfonso stopped 3 times there. He's having more drive through the pit lane than I do drive throughs at McDonald's, that's for sure. That's a lot in a week. So anyway, rather than my diet habits, let's just concentrate. So Kasprzyk still staying out. Here's Danny Gould. Is he going to come in? No. Rudy Vermeulen. He's staying out. As is Derek. So the top 4 all staying out. Leonardo Vera, who was leading this race, he's what is he? Gap to leader. So 44 seconds is the gap. So it's a net P1 for Leonardo Vera. So let's just refresh where we are. Adam Sesplot is P1. Adam Moden is 5 seconds back in second, and Francesco Adamu is third. But he's got to be carrying damage. I'm just seeing how is that going to impact on his lap times. The gap is just getting bigger and bigger. Cody Besselink is 6.5 seconds behind Adamu, so we'll keep our eyes on that. And then Jan Barth is running 5th, but the number of stops, Besselink and Barth have not yet stopped. On board with Pavel Vetlugins, because he is hunting down Carl Van Horn in P11 and 12. was just looking through the telemetry just to see where are the tracks. So, Craig Starkey. He's had a moment. His game crashed. So Craig Starkey, D&F from this race. We were on board with Starkey earlier on in the race, battling away, but he's had a moment. He's coming into the live chat there saying that his game crashed on the start finish straight. That's gutting. Really sorry to hear that, Craig. Very good question, Chris Jones. Who has the fuel to get to the end of this race? Interestingly, Adam Setsplar, in terms of energy usage, is him and Adam are, I would say, quite a chunk lower than the rest of the field. Jules Aliman there with 74%, and he's stopped. He is 54 seconds off the lead, but that could just be interesting. So, could there be an element of fuel saving going on between the top guys here? Let me know what you think, Chris. You're the man with a better intel than me when it comes to strategy here. But there could be an element of fuel saving going on for the top guys. Because I certainly think there was a couple of early stoppers. I mean, Danilo boxed really early. We saw him in third place battling away. In the top three there of Kasprizic, Gordon, Vermeulen and Stewart still hadn't boxed. So I think Danilo could be under pressure in terms of fuel. But we'll see. Yeah, it was really good battling, Craig. Yeah, I caught a lot of it on stream, mate. Hopefully you'll be able to go back and watch it. It was some good... certainly got a battle of it. So now come in Rudy Vermeulen and Danny Gould. They're both now in the pits. Kasprizic still continuing. And Adamu is still surviving in P3 in hypercar with that huge crash we saw. I don't know how he's still... I mean, his pace is now 30 seconds off the leader. So he's obviously struggling with damage, but... I mean, Domikos Kiss. And Aliman. Obviously, the gap... The front three in hypercar was setting such a pace that they had a good 30 seconds on everyone else anyway. So the gaps across the field in both categories are just starting to be a little bit elongated. Just trying to find you the closest battle, and I'll tell you what, the closest battle on track is all the way down the back of the pack. P12 and P11 in GT3. Alex Nieto is just ever so slightly creeping up to the rear of Pavel Vetlugans in the BMW. 1.1 is the gap between these two drivers. Alex Nieto, we saw, had a bit of a shocking opening lap. I think he's lost a number of positions for where he qualified. He's down 5, I believe he is. There we go, left hand side of your screen, down 5 places from where he was. So Alex Nieto trying to recover, but he could be carrying a little bit of damage. Not quite sure what happened to him as to why he lost those 5 positions, but he's trying to recover anyway. Jules Aliman getting closer to Domikos Kiss. Great camera shot on board the Toyota. Hunting that Ferrari down of Domikos Kiss. Let's go on board and have a listen to that Toyota engine. So very close now between these two as Aliman just trying to get the Toyota under control on traction. Trying to creep up on Domikos Kiss, the battle for 4th and 5th. And Chris Jones was coming into the live chat there saying Adamu could be in danger from these two, and I have to agree with that. The gap is starting to creep down. I mean, Adamu is now 36 seconds off the lead. The thing is, Kiss and Adamu just not making enough time on Adamu. We've got a lot of cars on the final corner. The sun is now coming out at Portimao, so the weather really changing here. The wet weather has completely gone and the sunshine now glistening off those cars down the start-finish straight as we tick just over half an hour to go in this Cube Control Series 2 on Formula Racing League TV. A huge thank you to Cube Controls, our primary sponsor for this season. And if you're in the market for some sim racing gear, some top quality sim racing gear, then please do check out their website. And again, I can't say enough, a big thank you from everyone and the management team at Formula Racing League for their support for this season. It's been fantastic, and what a season they've decided to sign up to, because it really has been some fantastic racing. As we're only on round 4, but every single round of this Le Mans Ultimate season has just produced some brilliant racing. And if you are new to sim racing and you're watching this, or you're new to Formula Racing League, then if you're watching this as a Toyota, that's not part of the track. That's not part of the track. Jules, you've interrupted what I was saying. I was in the flow there of my advertising. You've completely interrupted what I was saying. So yeah, if you are new to sim racing and you're watching this and you're thinking, blimey, this looks good, I want to get involved, then check out Formula Racing League on Discord. Drop a like on the video. Whack the subscribe button, because we've got a number of rounds still to come in this season. And the action isn't only on Le Mans Ultimate. Formula Racing League are also involved with ACC and rFactor 2, a little bit of iRacing, a little bit of F1 as well, I believe. And it's also on console as well. There is an ACC season underway on PS5 and Xbox, as I believe ACC is now crossplay on consoles. Correct me if I'm wrong. On board with Valerio Ascioni, because he is under a second to Timo Braun, the battle for 6th and 7th in Hypercar. As you can see on track at the moment, there is a lot of action, there is a lot of traffic. Cars are just having to really watch out for each other's cars. Hyper, GT3. So, half hour to go. Let's just do a quick run through the full grid, shall we? So Adam Sesblot is your race leader. He's got a 7.7 second lead to Adam Moden in P2. Francesco Adamu is 33 seconds back in P3 and carrying some significant damage. Domikos Kiss 22 seconds behind, and Jules Aliman is in P5. That's a top 5 hypercar. Timo Braun is 6th for the BMW, 16 seconds behind Jules Aliman, and Valerio Ascioni is 7th. João Pedro Sodra is P8, and Benjamin Eck 15 seconds up the road in P9. And rounding out the top 10 is our very own good friend of FRL, Jan Barth. Cody Besselink is P11, and Alex Alfonso, who's had a race to forget, down in P12 and is the last running hypercar. Over in GT3, Leonardo Vera leads this race as Kasprzyk has finally decided to pit. So Leonardo Vera retakes the lead of this race. Joseph Chada is P2 and Kasprzyk is 3rd. We saw him have a spin at the start of this race, but he's recovered and back up to P3, the championship leader coming into this round. But he's going to be losing points to championship rival Joseph Chada and Leonardo Vera. Danilo Lysick is 4th and Rudy Vermeulen is 5th. That's the top 5 in GT3. Danny Gould in 6th, and Derek, having a very strong, impressive race so far, is in 7th position, 19th overall. Mark Stewart, 8th. Oh, no, he's not. He was. He's back again. I joined at the right time. Mark Stewart and Tom Curtin getting involved, getting in a tussle for the battle for 8th position. So Mark Stewart takes 8th position again, but Tom Curtin on your screen right now in the BMW is just putting Mark Stewart under a lot of pressure, and they're now side by side. Kurt is going to have the inside line and he gets the move done. So a change of positions yet again there. So P8 Tom Curtin, Mark Stewart 9th, and in 10th position is Carl Van Horn. Behind him and hunting him down is Pavel Lugens in P11. If we just saw the BMW in the background, just getting a little bit slidey on the exit of the corner, but Pavel Lugens starting to close the gap yet again to the Aston Martin 777 of Carl Van Horn. Alex Nieto is P12th, and Stephen Martin is D&F along with Craig Starkey. So Alex Nieto is your last running car in GT3. So that is the field for you. We have 25 minutes remaining, and Joseph Chadder is just that gap to Leonardo Vera, 1.5 to the lead. The battle for the GT3 category win is far from over. 1.5 gap between Leonardo Vera and Joseph Chadder. 1.2 now, 1.1, as the Porsche is just finding time in the corners and the braking zones. Let's quickly jump on board with Timo Braun, because Timo Braun is very close to Valerio Ascioni, the battle for 6th. Fastest lap, a question coming in on the live chat there. Fastest lap in GT3. Very good question, my friend. That currently goes to Joseph Chadder with a 1:47.4. It's 6/10 quicker than Leonardo Vera, who's on a 48 flat. So the last lap time, that was it. So the last lap actually was the purple lap for Joseph Chadder. So Chadder really is closing in on Leonardo Vera. 47.4, fastest lap in GT3, and that was the last lap. As Pavel Lugens is just coming into the pit. So what's happened to him? He was closing down Carl Van Horn, so not sure if that's a late stop. Yeah, so obviously the track is obviously would be quite green. It started in the rain, so yeah, the grip will be coming. I think each and every lap they do, the lap times will be coming down. The car will be getting lower on fuel as well, so the lap time should start tumbling, to be fair. But yeah, it will be quite a low grip track to start with, given the conditions. Just see what these lap times are across the line between the two drivers. That's pretty even, the last lap, to be fair. But sector 1, you can just see a difference Chadder has on the Mustang of Leonardo Vera. He's certainly going to be feeling the pressure. He's going to see the Porsche in the rearview mirror. Can Leonardo respond? These two are getting almighty close now. This is your battle for the GT3 lead on your screens right now with 20 minutes remaining. Leonardo Vera, Joseph Chadha. Leonardo Vera drove an outstanding qualifying session to put that Mustang on pole position in the wet conditions. He's drove an outstanding race so far, but now the grip, the dry weather is here, the sun is out, the Porsche is coming alive. Joseph Chadha is hunting down Leonardo Vera. He's sniffing an opportunity here to take some championship points, some big championship points of his championship rival of Kasprizik, who occupies third position but is 29 seconds behind. So a real opportunity for Chadha here in the battle for the GT3 championship, as they've got a hypercar coming on behind. So this is an opportunity to lose and gain some time as the hypercar sends it up the inside of the Porsche. Chadha's probably thinking not as nicely as I would imagine, because he's going to lose time. He's lost a lot of time there with the hypercar coming on through, and Vera's going to get away nicely. We're just going by on the straight, so Chadha really lost out with the traffic there. But that's the beauty of multi-class racing. As we've got a yellow flag being waved by the marshal somewhere on track, quickly disappeared and back up and running. So whoever that was, having a very brief moment off track. Gaps in the hypercar field are quite extended at the moment. The closest battle is Domikos Kiss and Gilles Alleman. The battle for 4th and 5th. These guys still battling away, and they're not really closing in on Adamu. So Adamu's losing a lot of time to Cesplar and Adam Moden, but he's not losing any time to Gilles Alleman and Domikos Kiss. So Adamu might just limp home in third position here, but we'll see what happens in the final 19 minutes. Energy remaining there. See, down 31% for the top two. Gilles Alleman has got a lot more in the pocket compared to the drivers around him. And positions gained and lost there. Pedro Sodra still up 4 positions from his race start, which is fantastic, up to the P8 for Pedro Sodra. And all drivers now on dry, slick tyres in hyper category and GT3. And everyone has stopped as well, as you can see there with the number 1. And some drivers have even done 2 or 3 stops. Now, has Adam Cesplar just made a mistake? Because that gap, the battle, so we've got a battle heating up between Leonardo Vera and Joseph Chadha, which was 1 second at one point. It's now 2.6, but the battle in hypercar has just all of a sudden come down to 8 tenths, 7 tenths. So a bit of traffic potential, a bit of an incident for... Oh, he's got a hypercar off! That's Adam Cesplar! Adam Cesplar's off. The race leader in hypercar has had the exact same moment as Francesco Adamu. So Adam Moden inherits the race lead in hypercar category. What a moment for him. Adam Cesplar, was there contact with a GT3? I didn't quite see it on my screen. I just saw the tyre smoke and the orange, or the yellow Ferrari go flying off. So I wasn't sure there was a bit of contact, or if he just lost it on his own. Comment in the chat if you saw it better than I was kind of watching the telemetry on one screen, and then just flicked my eyes to the track and just saw that. So yeah, massive moment for Adam Cesplar, and that's the race lead gone. He's still comfortably in P2 because Adamu is a long way behind with 36 seconds, but huge moment there. Let's go back on board with Chadha, because he's just lost the back end of that Mustang of Leonardo Vera. It was down to 1 second, but it's now 3.5 seconds back. So Chadha just starting to drop back, and I'll tell you why he's starting to drop back, because Leonardo Vera, his best lap, a 46.5. almost a second quicker than Joseph Chadder. So that explains why Chadder is just really struggling to hold on to the rear end of that Mustang, because it's now 4 seconds the gap. Ben Milden in the live chat. How are we doing, Ben? Good evening, mate. Good to have you with us. We are checking. It must be water. Ferrari pit wall out in full force. So that spin might have lost him the lead of the race, but it hasn't hurt his pace because the gap was 10 seconds. He's already halved it. Gap's back down to 5. So 14 minutes remaining, but if this pace continues, then Cessplat's going to re-catch Adam Moden. Just keep an eye on that gap. Ben Milden, we swapped the comms at turn 17, Lewis. You've not even asked me. You can't. We can't do a swap for position, mate. You've not even asked me. Just reenacting Ferrari at Miami there with Hamilton and Charles Leclerc. You're just going to have to stay behind, Ben. You're just going to have to overheat your tyres, mate. We'll discuss it at the end of the race. I tell you what, I'm enjoying the Formula 1 this season, to be fair. I am enjoying the racing. Look at the gap now, 3 seconds. Adam Cessplat, Adam Moden. So he really is driving. He is driving with a mission. Adam Cessplat on a mission to recapture first position in this race, the lead of the race. Joseph Chadder he still hasn't matched the best lap time of Leonardo Vera, but the gap is down to 3.9, so he's gained a tenth or two in the last couple of laps. But 13 minutes remaining. I think Leonardo Vera, if he can keep that Mustang pointing in the right direction and hitting the apexes as he should do, I think he's got this race under control. But we shall see. Commentators cursing all that. I don't want to speak too soon. Mark Stewart, I think Alex Nieto has got by him. Yeah, Alex Nieto is on a recovery drive after having a pretty poor start of the race. Domikos Kiss and Aliman still trading lap times. Ben Milden, I hate football, F1 and anything else my teams fell out. I tell you what, Ben, right? I was saying this to my my good wife the other day when Arsenal fell out in the Champions League miserably, and I'm just going to spend only 30 seconds to talk about this because I know I'm meant to be doing a professional job here commentating on the race. But I said to my wife, I'm sick and tired of supporting teams that just constantly fail in sport. So I support Arsenal and they just, every season they let me down. And I'm a big Ferrari fan. I can't help but support Ferrari in Formula 1. And yeah, every year this is going to be our year, and it just doesn't quite work, does it? So I really do need to get better at picking my teams. But you can't change teams, can you? I'll always be an Arsenal fan, and I'll always have a soft spot for Ferrari, and of course Lewis Hamilton. But yeah, it's just sometimes it's how the cookie crumbles, isn't it? Miami was like a 6, but the other GPs were amazing this season. Yeah, I thought, actually, I didn't think Miami was too bad of a race, but it has been good fun. I just like the drama of the F1. It's not so much the most purest form of racing of motorsport you can get on TV or nowadays, you know, with all the other forms of category of racing we've got going on, but I like the drama of the F1, the show business of it. Anyway, that's enough YouTube chat for the moment. Just quickly keep a look at the gaps, because Chadder 1.5 now between him and Leonardo Vera. He's realised he's only got 10 minutes remaining, and he's trying to put another late charge on. Everywhere else is fairly extended, so there isn't much action going on in terms of overtaking opportunities throughout the field. So we're just going to stick on board with Joseph Chadder and just see what he can do with the lap times. But 1.4 now, the gap between Leonardo Vera and Chadder. Yeah, Arsenal Ferrari in the same mindset. It is. It's always waiting for next year. Though I'm going to use this opportunity to say I do think Arsenal get a lot of unwarranted stick. I do realise Mikel Arteta might not be the most of likeable characters to non-Arsenal fans, but I think we are a hell of a lot better of a team than what people give us credit for, considering where we were 4 or 5 years ago. We've made some dramatic improvements, and we're only going to get better, I think, with this age of the squad we've got. Anyway, we're on Formula Racing League TV for the action on track at Le Mans Ultimate, not me waffling about Arsenal's chances in 2026. Apologies, Chris, I know you're watching. It's just community engagement, Chris. You know, it's community live chat engagement. What's the energy left on the hypers? Very good question. So Adam Moden and Cesplot were running quite low last time I checked. It's now 17%, so they should be okay to the end of the race, I would imagine. Maybe not. It's quite touch and go. Interesting to see how that develops actually in the next couple of minutes, because I think that might be a little touch and go. But then again, I'm no expert when it comes to hypercar energy store, to be honest with you, I must admit. Not very professional of me to admit, but that might be okay. I'm just trying to work it out in my head as I'm talking. How do I feel about United being in the final as an Arsenal fan? It doesn't really bother me. It's a competition that we couldn't enter, to be honest with you. And I think it's a very poor final of quality of teams, but there we go. Joseph Chadder, under a second now. The gap between him and Vera. Are we going to see a grandstand finish at Portimao here on Formula Racing League TV, powered by Cube Controls? Round 4, Season 2, Le Mans Ultimate. Come on, Chadder, what have you got for us? Give us a grandstand finish. Just while we flick around, Cody Besselink, he's catching Jan Barth. Battle all the way down the rear end of the hypercar category. Jan Barth 10th, Cody Besselink 11th. And these two, who know each other very, very well, they're now side by side actually. The two BMW drivers. Who's going to have the corner? Oh, it goes a little bit wide. They both go wide. They've both gone wide. Commentators curse. Maybe they know I'm watching the Jan Barth's gone completely wide. So Cody Besselink goes on through. A little bit of TV pressure there. Maybe they heard my voice. Got the stream on in the background, and just panicked ever so slightly. And Besselink goes on through, but Chadder now under a second. Let's go on board with the Porsche. So on your screens now, Leonardo Vera, can he survive the final 5 minutes? He's got a little bit of lap traffic to negotiate. Under 2 seconds the gap. He's definitely going to be seeing that Porsche on the timing screens. That gap coming down. Chadha has now set the fastest lap of the session. No, he doesn't actually. I beg your pardon. I am corrected. Kasprzyk has got the purple lap in GT3. Done a 46 flat, which is 2 tenths quicker than Chadha, who is 3 tenths quicker than Leonardo Vera. But Kasprzyk is 24 seconds behind Chadha, so that is going to improve him no positions. But purple lap it is. Vera has just got by the BMW lapped car. Chadha is going to have to negotiate it as well. Again, just more hypercar traffic to negotiate. Opportunity for time to be won and lost between these two drivers. Under 5 minutes remaining now. Who's your money on? Is Leonardo Vera going to bring the car home and win this race in round 4, or is Joseph going to catch him? Who's your money on, chat? Battle for hypercar, and the overall leader of this race, Adam Moden, has just stabilised the gap between Adam Sesplar. It was 10 seconds, got down to 5, then got down to about 3. It's now back up to 4.8, so Adam Moden starting to retake control of this race with only 3 minutes remaining, or just under 4 minutes, shall I say, as I can't read the clock very well. You're a Barcelona fan? Blimey, what a game the other night with Inter Milan. Probably one of the best games of football I've watched in the last 10 years. It would have been great to see an Arsenal-Barcelona final. Get revenge on 2006. We should have never lost that game. Darn you, Manuel Almunia. 1.6 now, 1.5. This is going to be really nip and tuck between these two across I think the checkered flag. When the checkered flag does start waving, it's going to be very close between Leonardo Vera and Joseph Chadha. You can see now the rear view camera on board with Leonardo Vera how close it is. And it's a back mark of the BMW, so he's going to get out of the way of the Porsche, and that is it. The battle between first and second on your screens right now, that is the difference. You can see that is the gap you can see between the Proton Racing Ford Mustang and the Mante Porsche. Lewis trying to watch this race but desperately wants to talk footy. It's taking all my will. It's taking all my willpower. I'm trying to remain professional, Ben. Can't help it. Can't help it. The last couple of laps remaining. It might even be the last lap actually for Leonardo Vera. Let's go on board with Adam Moden to see where he is. So he's coming around the... Is he coming around the final corner? No, he isn't. He's in the middle sector. So is this the last lap for Adam Moden? It might... No, it won't be. He's going to have one more lap. I'm pretty sure he'll get across the line in the next 40 seconds. Let's just quickly find out. I do not want to miss the race leader coming across the start finish line if the checkered flag is waving. There is no white flag lap on Le Mans Ultimate. They just cross the line if the clock runs out, but I'm pretty sure he's going to have one more lap remaining. He will do, with 22 seconds remaining of this race. He's going to start the last lap. So Adam Moden starts the last lap here at round 4 on Formula Racing League TV at Portimao. He's got a gap of 4 seconds to Adam Sesplat. What that means, however, is Leonardo Vera and Joseph Chada are going to have a lap after this, and the gap is only 1.1 seconds. You can see how close it is now on board with the Porsche driver. Here, Ben. I completely agree with that comment. So one more lap remaining for these GT3 drivers. The battle for first position. Leonardo Vera, Joseph Chada. He's doing all he can in that Porsche to try and close. It's 8 tenths now. But I think the Ford Mustang's going to have an almighty difference in straight line speed down the back straight. They've got a hypercar coming through as well, but that will be no bother for the pair of them. So one lap remaining for those, but let's just go on board with the race leader. And Adam Moden is about to take the checkered flag to win here in the Algarve at Portimao for round 4 of season 2. Wins the race. What a fantastic drive from Adam Moden. What a race win. Adam Sesplat is going to come home in second, and Francesco Adamu is going to limp home in third. He's a long way back, 50 odd seconds. So let's quickly go on board with Leonardo Vera and Joseph Chada, because we do not want to miss the battle between GT3 race leaders. This is the final lap between these two. It's been an almighty drive from Leonardo Vera. What a qualifying session he had. He put the car on pole position in the wet and damp, cloudy conditions. He started first. He's leading the race right now. He's had a pretty much faultless race, but he's having to survive a late charge from the Porsche. The gap now 6 tenths. We're commentating, we're witnessing some fantastic racing, and all the live chat can do is discuss Manchester United and Anthony in the live chat. It's all coming down to the final 2 corners. Half a second, I think, Leonardo Vera, unless he makes a mistake here, he's going to take the GT3 win. There's a hypercar just behind them who might just throw the cat amongst the pigeons, but he should hang back, and Leonardo Vera is going to take the checkered flag and will take the race win here in GT3. What a drive from Leonardo Vera. Joseph Chada comes home to second, and Kasprizik is in third. He's actually pitted already. He's already finished. He's already taken the flag. So Kasprizik finished third and Lysick was fourth. So what a race. What a race. Let's bring you the full order, the race standings, the race finishing positions. Let me just bring up the telemetry, try and work my mouse there, as my mouse was not working for a moment. So on your screens right now is the race results from round 4 of the Cube Controlled sponsored series here on Formula Racing League Le Mans Ultimate Season 2. Adam Moden is your race winner after 49 laps. Adam Sesplat was only 2 seconds back in the end in P2. Some vital championship points gained on his championship rival Francesco Adamu, who came home in the final podium spot. So a Ferrari podium lockout. Jules Alleman and Valerio Ascioni come home for Toyota in 4th and 5th. Domikos Kiss 6th, Timo Braun 7th, João Pedro Sodra 8th, Benjamin Eck 9th, and Jan Barth was 10th. So that was your top 10 in Hypercar. Cody Besselink was 11th and Alex Alfonso 12th. Over in GT3, which we saw pretty much the most of the stream, to be honest, they really did throw up some amazing battles compared to the hypercars this week. But Leonardo Vera in the Ford Mustang is your race winner after 44 laps. Joseph Chada just behind him in P2, and Kasperzik is third. So again, Chada gaining some vital championship points on Kasperzik. Danilo Lisek was fourth, and Danny Gould, strong race from him, in fifth. Rudi Vermeulen, another strong race from him, in P6, and Derek, well, what a race from him, in 7th position. Tom Curtin P8, Mark Stewart 9th, and Carl Van Horn came home in 10th. The other runners in GT3, Alex Nieto was 11th, Pavel Vetlugens was 12th, and Stephen Martin and Craig Starkey DNF'd, as did Patrick Den in Hypercar. So that was round 4. That was your race here at Portimao. It was quite an exciting race. The battles going on in GT3 really was exciting to watch. There was a couple of two-way battles we saw as well halfway through the race in Hypercar, and Adam Moden just hanging on at the end there to fight off the late charge of Adam Sesplar. Race to forget for I say race to forget for Adam. He still came home in third. He had a massive accident and somehow managed to still get the car home in third position. But interestingly, both championship leaders coming into this round, Francesco Adamu and Kasperzik, both not winning in their respective categories and both finishing third. So yeah, interesting for that. We'll take a look at the championship standings going next week live on air before the start of qualifying. Let's bring you actually quickly, before I go back to the live chat, let's quickly bring you the upcoming schedule. So next week we are in Italia, May 16th. We're at the Festival of Speed, Monza. You've got to be here 8 PM next week, May 16th. The race start will be about 8:30. You've got to be here for the Turn 1 action. Turn 1 action is going to be hopefully clean, but we all know in sim racing at Monza it might not be clean, so it could be very lively next week at Monza. May 23rd we go to Bahrain. The penultimate round is back in Italy at Imola on May the 30th, and then the season finale is Le Mans, June the 6th, the no chicane variant. So we are halfway through this championship, and it has been a fantastic action all the way through rounds 1, 2, 3 and 4, and I have no doubt the second half of this season is going to throw up the same excitement. Let's have a quick look at the live chat, because blimey, we've been talking football for the last 50 minutes on live chat. Let's just catch up with some of the comments. Jan Barth, horrible race. Yeah, I saw you add a couple of trips into the pits there, Jan. Unfortunate to hear that. Ben Milden, great stream, Lewis. Thank you very much, my friend. Jan Barth got to change to mediums, had to pit twice, so that would explain it. Yeah. Can't wait for turn 1 in the AM split. Well, unfortunately, the AM split won't be live on air, only the pro split. But I'm sure the pro split is going to throw up just as much carnage. But yeah, hopefully it's not too bad. Hopefully it's fairly clean from the drivers. I'm sure it will be. There's a lot of good prizes up for grabs, so people want to take it seriously. So, as always, thank you ever so much for joining the live stream. The viewing numbers has been excellent again. Really do appreciate you jumping into the live chat and putting comments in, albeit talking about football. It's always a pleasure to chat away with fellow sim racers. I've been your commentator tonight, Lewis Robinson. Thank you for having me, and we'll be back next week. Have a cracking weekend with whatever you're doing. The weather in England is shaping up to be fantastic. 22 degrees tomorrow, so get the barbecues fired up. Have a good one, and we'll see